So I was gonna do this video as a short, but I don't think if I do it as a short, it's gonna actually do it justice. So I decided to just do it as a full video because this was actually a pretty crazy story. So I figured doing a full video, people would just get the full gravity of the situation because it was crazy. So look, on this particular day, I'm driving this beater right here, and it was a beater, trust me. So it got the job done though. So I'm hauling scrap metal. Now, when I say I'm hauling scrap metal, that can be crushed cars. I haul a lot of crushed cars. Anything that you can recycle, any metal that you're gonna recycle, and then they can make new products with it after they treat it. That's what I mean when I say scrap. So on this day, I'm hauling scrap. I got about an hour and a half drive to a steel mill. It's a large steel mill. They sell it to them. So en route to the steel mill, I'm on a 2-lane stretch of highway. But once you get to the heavy traffic areas, it'll open up to 3 lanes or sometimes 4 lanes. So right here it's gonna go from 2 lanes and then it opens up to 3 lanes. So I get in the far right when we open up to 3 lanes. So I'm in the far right and I'm headed southbound. Now, for some reason, there's a tow truck in the northbound. He's in the far right lane on the northbound side. So we're coming like this. He does something and it just catches my eye. So everything's cool around me. So I'm just kind of looking over here, just being nosy, kind of curious. Like, what's going on with this dude? Not knowing his actions were about to affect everybody. So I'm paying attention to him. He's kind of like swaying or swerving. He's doing something, but he's in the far right. So he's kind of going in the shoulder. So we're coming down. I'm not really thinking nothing of it. I'm just watching him. We're coming down. Now he's towing a car behind him. So he comes out of his lane. He goes in the center lane a little bit. When he jerks back over to get back in the far right, he kind of overcorrects. So there's this little construction trailer that I'm gonna put up here. Now, it wasn't connected to any vehicle. It was just sitting on the shoulder. So when he overcorrects to get back in the far right lane, he swerves a little too much. And the car that he's towing, it connects with the construction trailer that's sitting on the shoulder. So it kind of connects with it. It pulls it off of the shoulder. The construction trailer comes flying across the northbound. Now I'm going south, but I'm still a little back from this happening. So as soon as I see it happen, I'm like, oh, let me start slowing down. I don't know what's about to happen. The construction trailer flies across the highway. It hits the center barrier. Now this is where it gets crazy. There were cables connected to the construction trailer, but they're going down the hill. So I can't see what's going down the hill. I can't see down there. So turns out they were connected to like a pole down there. I don't know what the guys were doing, but it was connected to a pole. When he hits the construction trailer, it flies off the shoulder. It slams into the center barrier, okay? It pulls the pole up from the bottom of the hill connected to the wire. The wire comes across the highway. It ends up coming across, it was like a whip. It comes across. When the construction trailer hits the center barrier, it flies all the way on our side, but it's still connected to this long wire. So now the construction trailer bounces off the center barrier. It comes to a rest in the middle of the southbound lanes. It also pulled this pole from down the hill where the guys were working, and it slung it, and it came across both the south and northbound lanes. So the pole landed on, I'm going south, it's on the southbound lanes, kind of right where I was at, because it landed on the shoulder. And if you can see closely, I'm gonna try to zoom in and get a good picture. It crushed down on the guardrail and the pole is snapped in half. But by it still being attached to the wire, it blocked both the north and southbound lanes. So as the tow truck hit the construction equipment on the northbound and the trailer started to come out, everybody over there was already slamming on the brakes. So they were coming to a stop. Our side was a little late to the party because we didn't know that was about to happen. Luckily, like I said, I was paying attention because if you see all around me, there's cars and it's a semi truck behind me. It was trucks all around me. It's a pretty crowded area. So Luckily, everybody came to a stop, which was crazy. I say that's crazy to me just because usually everybody's distracted driving. They're playing on the phone, uh, just all type of stuff. So to have everybody stop and then not be any secondary accidents on either side of the highway, I was kind of surprised about that. So we all come to a stop. Everybody sees the cable blocking the highway. So once everybody's come to a stop, everybody's starting to get out. Everybody's like, "Hey, what's going on, man? What just happened?" So actually, a couple of the other trucks you see, some of those drivers, they saw everything that happened too. So we're all telling the people in the cars, because they, they couldn't really see, or they weren't really paying attention to what was going on. So we're telling them what happened. Like, man, it was crazy. The tow truck. Now the tow truck that caused everything, surprisingly, he actually pulled over and stopped, because when he did that and he blocked the northbound side, he was the only person on the other side of the wire. So if he wanted, if he wanted to, he could have just booked it. And I mean, he probably would have got caught later, of course, but he did stop and own up to what happened. So we were just standing out there telling everybody, like, "Hey man, the guy hit the trailer, it pulled it up," and they're like, "Where did the pole come from?" And I'm like, I didn't even think that was about to happen. It just, that was at the end of the wires. I'm like, that got crazy really quick. It was like Final Destination. Like, that's the only thing I could say to describe it, like real life movie or something like that. So the police end up coming, state troopers, everybody comes. Now, obviously, it's this big cable covering the highway, so nobody can go through. So I thought I was gonna get a break and just get to sit there for a while they got it cleaned up, but that didn't happen at all. They actually had us, and this was crazy too. I was a little nervous about that. You can laugh if you want to, I don't care. But I was a little nervous because the police started telling us, like, once they asked all of us, like, "Hey, what just happened?" Like, and we all told them, like, "Man, the dude hit the thing," and he was on the other side telling them his side of the story too about what happened. So when everything was said and done, the troopers, they actually had all the cars turn around, and then they just drove back to the exit. And then once all the cars got out the way, all the semis, we had to back up like a mile down the highway to the previous exit so we could get off and get back on. And that's why I said I was a little nervous, because you can back up and all of that cool stuff, but it's like, man, I gotta back all the way up on the highway for a mile. And I hadn't been driving for years and years. At that time, I had only been driving for a couple of years. So I mean, I did it like a champ, no issues, but I was just a little nervous. That was something I had never done, especially with a big audience, everybody watching you. So the point of the story is, I've had a lot of people say, like, "Why you blow the horn? Why you doing this?" Like, basically implying that what other people on the road are doing doesn't affect you. But I tell people all the time, you never know when what somebody's doing is going to come to affect you. How many times have you seen a video where a guy's like in the fast lane doing something? Another car is in the far right. He hits the center barrier because he loses control, and then next thing you know, he swerves and he hits the innocent truck minding his business and takes him off the road with him. So you never know when other people's actions are going to affect you, and that can expand beyond the road, but especially on the road, because like I said, I was in the far right headed south. This guy was in the far right headed north, and his actions affected all of us. It was just crazy. So let me know how you feel about the story. Let me know how you feel about the long videos. I'm not really into the social media, so I'm kind of new to this, so I'm still learning. So just give me some feedback. If you liked it, you want more stories, subscribe. I definitely have some more stories. I'll leave you with this one before I go. This same highway I was on, a couple of weeks before that, I had a trailer catch on fire. And then I'm going to get to that story eventually. And then maybe a month or two after that, I had another crazy incident, but I don't know if I really want to tell that story on YouTube. So this highway, I don't know, I probably should stay off of it. I saw police chases, all types of stuff on this highway. So Let me know what you guys think. If you like the story, subscribe. I'll definitely drop some more. And that's about it, man. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Catch y'all on the next one.